Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Second uh, session of Quranic Arabic. Uh, you should start reading the Quran in the light of what we are learning. You know, it's all about understanding the Quran. And therefore, um, you might say, you're asking it too early, but the fact of the matter is that, it is basically reading the Quran with interest so as to be able to understand what the text is saying is what the whole purpose is. And therefore, let's make it a habit. Okay, now let me start with the family of 6 nouns that we did last time. So I clarified that there are symbols called harakat, which are meant only to be able to pronounce words correctly. Uh, they have no other role to play. And obviously, when you pronounce a word correctly, it is important because it gives the correct meanings. Uh, but we had started our discussion on Arab. And I mentioned that there are 3 types, categories of Arab, or let's say a noun, when it appears in a sentence, it would take one of the 3 forms of Arab. It will appear in a state which will be either Rafa in Arab or Nasab or Jar. Now, I've already written in the last presentation, so you know it. And I then mentioned that we have started our discussion on Rafa nouns. So, to give it a start, let me begin with one simple mention of a noun with all its 6 possibilities, or the 6 members of the family of the noun in Arab. A person who rejects is called uh, munkir. Now, munkirun I have written because we are right now doing Rafa. The one who does inkar is munkirun. I've already mentioned that this munkirun is actually wahid, singular, and muzakkar, masculine. Two or dual men who would do inkar or would reject tasniya. So I want you to write now, given what you've understood in the last lecture, from the last lecture. So 2 of them are going to be Mun Kirani. Mun Kirani. Like we did Muslim, Muslimun, and then Muslimani. Now, instead of Muslim, it is Munkir. So, Munkirun, Munkirani. And plural, Jama, Muzakkar, masculine. Many men, more than 2 men, who rejected or who reject are like Muslimuna, they are Munkiruna. So here there is Zabar or Fatha, there is nothing on Alif. Here there is Dhamma Pesh on Ra, Kasra on Kaf, and the vow of Una as you know, Arab. Muannas, feminine. We will do like we did in the case of Muslim. Instead of Muslimatun, I hope you're also doing it, it's Munkiratun. Two women who do inkar are Munkiratani. Munkiratani. And many women who do inkar, like many Muslim women are Muslimat, many rejecting women are Munkiratun. So that's how it is. I hope to this extent uh, it is clear and you've done it correctly. Start writing the nouns that I will now ask you to do. So, one man who asks, a person who asks, one man is Sa'ilun. Sa'ilun is one man who asks. Now, I would want you to write the correct noun in Rafa form that conveys the meaning of many men who ask. What is the right word for many men who ask? That is Sa'ilun. Sa'ilun. Well, this Zabar or Fatha uh, is normally not pronounced. Sa'iluna, well, Sa'ilun. I hope you've done it correctly. Instead of Munkirun, it's Sa'ilun. Okay, let's move on. Uh, a person who is grateful, Shakirun, is one man who is grateful. So let us write the correct noun in Rafa form for two grateful ladies. Two grateful ladies are Shakir is the same. Shakir is the same. Like Munkir is the same. And then Shakiratani. Shakiratani are two ladies who are grateful. Now, I'll give you another noun, which is a man who spends wealth, quite often spends is also associated with spends in the way of Allah. We call it infaq fi sabilillah. But the man who spends is known as munfiq. Munfiqun is one man who spends. What about two men who spend? How would we write two men who spend? So, the family of six will reach the right right box, which is munkirani, and we will say it's the right word is munfiqani, right? So that's how we will have a noun which will have its meanings. And by knowing one noun, you will be able to come up with all the other five members of it as well. So I am mentioning here the singular masculine. It could be any other. So, for example, let's say we have a word, uh, we have a noun which is sabiratun, right? Now, what do you think from here if you would want to know the right noun for two sabir, patient men? What's going to be the right noun? Going to be sabiran, sabiran, right? And it should be a little longer. Uh, and obviously, you cannot come up with the other uh, possible nouns that are needed to describe the various different possibilities. Uh, if I was to use a few nouns in Rafa form, and I say uh, munzir, munzir, munzirun means a man who warns. The meanings of munziratun. What would be the meanings of munziratun? Munziratun are a number of ladies who warn, a number of warning ladies. Uh, you know, somebody who reminds, someone who reminds is a mutazakkir. So, what does mutazakkira or mutazakkiratun? Yeah, this is something that needs to be understood. That when you have this of feminine, singular feminine, this ta normally when it is used in Arabic language and read in the Quran, uh, particularly when it comes towards the end of a sentence, end of an ayat, it changes into ha. So munkiratun can be also uh, read as spoken as munkira, abidatun, abida, and so on. So I think you now understand uh, at least the appearance of nouns in their simple form when they are in the Arab of Rafa. We are not talking about nasab and jar as yet. Before I move any further, I would also like to clarify one thing more, which is the introduction of the letters al. You see, nouns are either preceded by al or they are not. To make it simple, when nouns come without the beginning accompanying al, they are nakira. They are nakira noun, which is they are uh, common nouns. Common nouns. A boy, a man, a house. And when alif lam gets added at the beginning, then they become marifa. Marifa. See this, actually this is ta, but well, in Urdu we just don't put, uh, make it a ta. So marifa is proper noun, proper noun. I'm introducing it here uh, to let you know that when you add alif lam, like here, then the ending letter having tanween, that is two harakat, it changes into one harakat. So two dhammas or two pages or pages will become one. That is what al would do. Meanings, well, from common noun, it would become proper noun. Munkirun was anyone who rejected. Al munkir is a particular person who rejects. Munkirani, if it has alif lam, nothing will change in appearance except the addition of alif lam at the beginning. Likewise, al munkirun. But in case of munkiratun, it will become al munkiratu or al munkira. Al munkiratani would remain the same except for the addition of al. And al munkiratun will become al munkiratu. So the idea is simple, that if there is a noun which has um, an al before it, it cannot have towards the end two harakat or tanween, double pesh, double dhamma, double fatha, double zabar, or double zair, double kasra. That's something which is always going to be there. There are some other details also. Obviously, when you're learning a language, you move from what is simple to what is a less simple and what is complex. You start talking about everything that is there, and you're actually making sure that you never understand anything because you get confused. Okay, now I am moving on to now the next question, an important question. Why is it that a noun appears in a sentence in Rafa form? So, we have as yet been able to hopefully identify the Rafa nouns. So, when you read any text of Quran, you will be able to see that these nouns are Rafa nouns. I know you will have sometimes a confusion regarding whether it's a noun or a verb. It will take time for you to be able to identify. But the translations are also going to help. You already know quite a bit of um, words which are nouns and which are not nouns. So what I'm saying is that now that you know, you can identify. what nouns are rafa nouns? The all important question that arises is, why does a noun appear in a sentence taking rafa form? Why does it take the Arab of rafa? So I will introduce you to the first reason today. There are four reasons why a noun would appear in rafa form. So when you will have learned all four, it will be as if you have actually potentially been able to know why a noun that comes in rafa form has appeared in a particular sentence in rafa form. I keep saying it to motivate you. And when you will be in that position, I think the excitement will hopefully begin, and you will begin to know more and more that it's not just the translation you're understanding, you're getting a little more direct and clearer. Okay, now you will know why I said that I'm not going to use the terms of English grammar. The first, probably the most significant reason, most frequently appearing reason why a noun takes rafa form is that in sentences, a noun comes playing the role of a file. What is a file? A file is the one who does a fail. And what is a fail? A fail is a word that is informing us that something has happened, an act has been done, an incident has taken place in the past, present, or the future. So, obviously, I mean, now we have the role of verb also uh, coming into play. So, whenever there is a verb, whenever a verb is used in a statement, it ought to have somebody who is doing it. So, a verb has always has to have a doer, the one who is doing it. I'm not interested in what it means or what word is used in English grammar, but I'm simply interested in knowing clearly that whenever there is a verb used, the verb is done by somebody. That somebody is the file. And why am I telling you? Because that file, whenever the appropriate noun for it will appear, it will be in the Arab of Rafa. So let's do it, you know, and I want you to do it. Let's do this exercise. There is a verb, samya. Samya. There is a verb. Now, samya means he heard. He heard, right? Now, I want you to write a sentence, which really means essentially write a noun after samya, which gives the meaning many Muslim men heard. Samya would remain samya, but you'll add just one noun. Uh, and because those Muslim men are particular known, so you will write in the right form. Many Muslim men heard, right? So I'm sure you've already written it, and I'm just writing to confirm that what you have written, you've written correctly. So it's going to be Sami'al Muslimun, right? Many Muslim men heard. Al Muslimun, because they are particular, they're not any. Uh, Muslimuna, because it's plural, and Una, because it's Rafa, and why Rafa? Because who is doing Samya? Al Muslimun. So Al Muslimun are, in my very simple and naive, understanding of words or concepts, Al Muslimun are the doers, doers of Samya. Samya is a verb, an act, something that has happened. And who is doing it? Al Muslimun. Therefore, Al Muslimun are fa'il. And fa'il always comes in the Rafa form. Okay, now let's take another verb. Zahaba. Zahaba. Now, Rajulun is one man. Rajala. Re, Jim, Lam. Rajulun. If we want to say those two, well, those is probably not a great idea. Two men went, and these two men are known. They're not any two men, but two particular men. They went. Zahaba means went. So who went? Two men went. So one man is Rajulun. I'm sure, well, I hope you have already written the sentence. Two men went. Zahabar Rajulani. Zahabar Rajulani. Uh, Rajulun is one, Rajulani are two, and there is Alif Lam here. Well, some of you, I'm sure, know it, that why is it that it is not Zahabal Rajulani, it's Zahabar Rajulani, because there are some letters that are described in Arabic as Qamari, and there are some that are Shamsi. So Ar Rajulani is Shamsi. Uh, if you don't know it, well, I'll let you know later. But let me give you two more examples before I give you an assignment for you to do this week. Quite apart from the assignment that I've already asked you, I mean, start reading the Quran and see where there are Rafa nouns and see if the one that you already know the reason, that is file, is it some fail, is it some verb which is being done by that noun. Okay, let's two more examples. A simple one, very simple one, which appears in the Quran on a number of occasions. Allah created. Khalaqa. Khalaqa is He created. Who? Allah. Right? Khalaq Allah. So Allah created. Now, last, last example. Qara means qara. He read. Qara. So if some lady has read a book or whatever, qara, it would be qaraat, qaraat. That's the verb. You don't have to worry about it. Now, many Muslim women read. Muslim women who are known, not any Muslim women. Many Muslim women read. What is going to be the word, right word? Qaraat al Muslimatu. I don't want to go into the description of the fact that Qaraat will become Qaraatil Muslimat just for the sake of uh, joining the two words. That's what happens in Arabic. That's not should not be your worry. Qaraatil Muslimat. The important thing is it's Muslimatu Rafa. Okay. Before I uh, ask you to ask any questions or make comments by raising your hands, the assignment that I want you to do in this week is, and the next time that when I'll start the session, that's the first thing I'll do. It's a simple, well, hopefully it's a simple exercise. You know, the famous verse Ayatul Kursi is uh, verse number 255 of Surah Al-Baqarah, Surah number 2. Read that verse and identify 9 nouns in the verse that are in Rafa form, right? So there are 9 nouns in the verse that are in the form of Rafa. And I want you to identify from amongst those 9, 4. I hope you know what the question is. Out of those 9 nouns, I would want you to identify those 4 nouns that are in the Rafa form because they are file. So you will, mention that these are the nouns that are in Rafa form because they are file, and they are file. Obviously, when you will say that, you will have to tell which fail are they doing that has caused them to be filed. Obviously, you look at the translations. Obviously, you will have some unfamiliar words from the point of view of somebody who's just done a second session in the elementary Quranic Arabic class. So don't worry if you get confused. But before I before I ask you to raise your hands and ask questions, the last thing that I would mention is that, you know, it is only through getting stuck that you will be able to learn. It is only when you will start reading the Quran with the whatever principles you've learned as yet and trying to figure out in the text how are they applying to certain words, sentences, that you will be actually on the course of learning, inshallah, the language of the Quran. You get stuck, you have questions, you're not sure. Well, if you already solve some of those questions, answer them. Amazing, brilliant. But I have a feeling that even more brilliant is the possibility that you don't understand and you're stuck and you're wondering why is it that it's like this. And then you get an answer and then you say, oh, I see. Now I get it. So I would now want you all, hopefully, to get involved in this process and start reading the Quran from that point of view. And please do this exercise the next week. I hope that I'll start giving you more exercises in the future. So, yeah, now I want to see uh, some hand raised for question, or what I've done. Is it too much? And there are no questions there. Yes, please, Ms. Sadiqa.
Assalamu alaikum.
Right.
Do all sentences in Arabic begin with a verb?
The natural sequence is always that in sentences where there are verbs. But I'll talk about it later, and I'm sure you know it already, being an expert of one language, that sentences are naturally of two types. There are some sentences which have a verb, and there are others which do not have a verb. So sentences that have verbs would naturally begin with a verb in Arabic language. But when it is not the case, then there is a reason for it. Um, the reason of emphasis or some other. But normally, yes, you begin with a verb because it is the verb which is causing the need for the statement, the sentence to appear, to be the sentence to be said, spoken. Uh, it's the verb that has happened. Gee, yes, Fahad Saab.
Sir, here in today's lecture, we are studying the connection of the verb with three forms of rafa. We started with noun and three stages in rafa, and then how connecting verb only with rafa. This is we are doing here. Second question, sir, I just need to understand the meaning of dahab. I forgot to write it.
Right. The first question is very interesting. So you are saying that we have today studied verb with three forms of rafa. Well, if I understand what you're saying, then Fahad Saab, have studied today uh, at a very elementary level a verb with all six forms of rafa. You know, Wahid Muzakkar, Tasniya Muzakkar,
Yes.
Jama Muzakkar, and the other three as well, right? Zahaba means he went. That's simple. I'm not introducing anything complex. Just keep it simple. Zahaba, he went. If two men went, Zahabar Rajulani. Okay, Talha. Talha Beg.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, might be a stupid question because English is not first language. So, here it goes. So, do the adjectives act as noun in Quranic Arabic as well? Because, like, if you talk about munkirin, sa'irin, kakirin, these kind of like are equalities.
Pass. I don't know. It's not relevant to what we are doing. This is a very complex question. We are doing right now Arab, right? What we are trying to do is to understand that when a particular Arab, I've introduced three Arab, Rafa, Nasab, and Jar. So right now, we are trying to familiarize ourselves with Rafa nouns and why are they in Rafa form. So I have informed you that it is one of the four reasons, probably the most important reason, why a noun appears in Rafa form. And that reason is that a noun, when it comes in a sentence, it comes as a file. A file is the one who does a verb. The rest of the information I don't want to discuss because, that's going to interrupt with our understanding. So let's keep it at that. Yes, Aisha Saiba.
Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Alright.
Sir, I just wrote it down for Sailun, the Muzakkar one. It's Sailun, Sailan, and Sailun. Is that correct?
Sa'ilun, Sa'ilani, Sa'iluna.
Sailuna.
This is the
Okay.
first three, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you want to complete it, Sa'ilatun, Sa'ilatani, Sa'ilatun. But why do I do not see you unmuted, Aisha Saiba?
So, Assalamu alaikum.
Because somebody else has, okay, I see.
Sir,
Right.
I am unmuted. I think there is maybe someone else. Sir,
Yeah.
one more thing for the Muzakkar for Sabirat.
Right.
So it was Sabiratun, Sabiran, and Sabirun.
No.
I
Muzakkar
think.
for Sabirat is Sabirun,
Okay.
1, Sabirani, 2, Sabiruna, more than 2.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, sir.
Good. Ji, Aisha Zaheer Saiba.
Ji, Assalamu alaikum, sir.
Right.
Sir, in the very beginning, when we started the class, you said when we end the letter with jar, it will change the sound of the next word. I got confused there, sir. I think it was munkiratun, munkiratani. I don't know,
I'm
sir.
confused
How?
too. Jar was never under discussion. You're confusing jar with kasra. Uh, you're saying zair.
Yeah.
You're describing zair as jar. No, that's
Yes.
what we need to understand.
Ji.
For example, Muslimani.
Yes.
Muslimani, in Muslimani, there is a kasra, a zair at the end. But the noun is rafa. So, it is something confusing, but that's exactly what we are trying to understand. That in the rafa form, when a noun is singular, it appears in the form of Muslimun. But the same noun, when it moves to the next box of dual, two Muslim men, it becomes Muslimani. Now, adding ani to Muslim
Yes.
makes the noun with meaning, adding meaning to it of two, but it remains rafa. It is not jar. Please don't say jar. Jar is different. When we
Right.
are talking about a particular symbol in any of the letters from beginning till end, it is not rafa nasab jar. It is dhamma, fatha, and kasra. It is pesh, zabar, and zir. When we are talking about rafa, nasab, and jar, we are talking about the entire word. Words, nouns are either in the form of rafa or in the form of nasab or in the form of jar. Letters, alphabets, when they are a part of a word, whether noun or verb, they are just harakat. Harakat are dhamma, fatha, kasra, which is pesh, zabar, zair, and also jazm and tashdid. I hope it's not confusing, but let this confusion be a part of this learning process, because this confusion should get clarified. If it is not clear, that's why we have this WhatsApp group. Sorry, in that group you can ask questions, and I'll try to figure out, if this confusion has not been removed. So let's move on to, yes, Homa Saiba.
Assalamu alaikum.
Right.
This is my first class, so I thought this was the first one. So where would I gain access to your first recording?
I'll request Ms. Siddiqa to kindly send it to the group again, because when somebody joins it fresh, we don't see the earlier messages. So it's going to be there very soon, inshallah.
Okay.
Right.
And then, just the teacher in me, as I was listening to you, I don't have as much experience as probably other individuals in this group. The way I see it when I teach sentence analysis to my students, as what I see today, we're just looking at what we call hunt the action, which is what the subject is and you're figuring out who's the doer, that's the predicate. So that's what is my understanding. So when people are talking about the other things, which obviously they have more knowledge. So for me, I just feel that today we just talked about finding the subject and just figuring out what is the subject doing, like where is the action in the, who's the doer, where's the action? So the action is the verb in the sentence. So we're just basically like if I say Homa cooks. So who's the subject? That's Homa, and what is she doing? She's cooking. So that's the verb. I don't know if my thought process is very rudimentary. I'm trying to figure out, but I just needed a little bit of a clarification if I was on the right path, because the other stuff that we were talking about, I'm not very clear on.
No, you have every right to understand what you're doing with the understanding that you have of English grammar, which is great. But I'm telling you frankly, I didn't get what you said. I will speak my language, right? And you have a right to translate and understand, paraphrase it the way you understand it. I hope the concept gets communicated properly. What way you would do it is obviously we have our own ways of understanding, and we want to do it as much as it helps us in reading the Quran and understanding it directly. Yes, Kashif?
Assalamu alaikum, Khalid sahab.
Whatever.
I'm a little confused when you were asked us to add file with fail. Why
Right.
did you add al, though we were not talking about any specific men like Same al Muslimun? Why
Right.
did we add al there?
Okay. If we would have said Samira Muslimuna, it would have meant heard many Muslims, but we're not sure who were they. So when you add Alif Lam, you're actually saying those Muslim men heard it. So by adding Alif Lam, Muslimun, any Muslim men would become particular, definite Muslim men, right? So if we would have said Samia Muslimuna, it would have meant many Muslim men heard. We're not sure who they are. Just general, not particular. So there would be a difference in the meanings. Any Muslim men who are not being identified as known to the one who is talking about them. I hope it's clear. Alif Lam actually makes the general understanding particular. Yes, Sadia.
Sorry, Assalamu alaikum. Just in the second example, Zahaba Rajulun, you had mentioned the Shamsi and Kamri. Is that something we'll be doing later on? Because I'm not sure exactly which one.
If you want to ask now, yeah. Maybe you'll spare another effort, yeah.
Okay, so which ones are Shamsi, or like how do we know which ones are Shamsi or Qamari?
You know, you know it naturally if you know Quran, you know, Nazira. There are letters, alphabets, which when they come at the beginning of a noun and they are preceded by alif lam is read, pronounced clearly. So, like for instance, al-qawm, right?
Yeah.
You will say al-kitab, but you will not say al-shams. You will say ash-shams. You will say ar-rajul. So ash-shams and ar-rajul are shamsi because of the fact that in shams there is sheen, which is shamsi.
Okay.
And al-kitab and al-qamar, they are qamari because alif lam is actually recited, pronounced clearly.
Correct. Okay, that's easy. Thank you. That's helpful.
Okay, then inshallah, I hope that you will do the exercise of Ayatul Kursi, and you will have to adjust with my lack of knowledge of English grammar and its terms. So I'll, you know, come up with my own very simple vocabulary of trying to introduce and mention and understand the meanings of the different possible expressions that are needed to be elaborated in Arabic. So this particular lecture, its recording is going to appear in our WhatsApp group, inshallah, hopefully in a day or two, and we'll continue to meet, inshallah, on Tuesday night / Wednesday morning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.